Man, oh man, when this popped up on my feed, I knew it was gonna be something that I had to react to, simply because of the fact that Pearly gets a lot of ish, and I'm a fan of both of them. I don't have any sides or stake in this argument, but I do find it kind of interesting. The only problem I have with people that got a problem with Pearly is when they say stuff about her not being married or not being in a relationship. Because on the flip side, she could say that the people that use that argument against her didn't grow up with both parents in the home. They never had the experience of having a high value father. They never had somebody around them making six figures. But if she threw that in people's faces, they'll be offended and upset. If she was to say that Abba or Preach didn't grow up with their father in the home or both parents in the home, and their parents couldn't even keep the family together so they could have that good experience like she talks about, then people would say she's an asshole and she's this that, and the other. I don't know. It just seems people pick sides on this, but I don't have a side. This is just information. So let's see what they gotta say.
Apparently, if I want results in life, I have to start talking to boys. Yeah, wife me up if you're in the London area. You know? I've noticed a lot of therapists are like older single women, and I'm kind of like, if you can't maintain a relationship, why would I take advice from you?
Listen, just lonely things over here, okay, without her man, okay?
People think I'm encouraging cheating. No. Like, I think if a woman cheats, she's trying to leave you. If a man cheats,
Yes.
he's just like, it's like a handshake.
Yeah.
Women act like this is the most unforgivable thing, that he is the ultimate bad guy, the ultimate demon if he does this. I'm sorry, sometimes you contributed to it. And women take no accountability for that. And that he wants to go to the bar with his buddies because you make that shit a hellhole. Because you are so unpleasant to be around.
It's the thing about some of the stuff they do. I don't know the full context of what she's saying right there, but what she said right there doesn't sound crazy to me. Just the stuff they let us see, it sounds like she's saying the guy wants to go around and be around his friends rather than be around the woman he's supposed to be with because she's unpleasant to be around. I would first advise don't get in a relationship with somebody like that. You will start to see early on whether or not y'all can work together. And if she's problematic or he's problematic, there usually going to be some red flags to begin with. But that's just me.
And men getting hard. So if they do what's hard, it's valued. If we do what's easy, it's not.
I am so enlightened by Pearl teaching us how being a man will magically eliminate all of the consequences of cheating. You know, like breaking your trust with your partner by lying to them, getting another woman pregnant that you now have to support, humiliating your wife, causing family dysfunction, and bringing home disease.
If a man cheats,
Yes.
it's like a handshake.
That is one hell of a handshake, Pearl. And promoting promiscuity is a great way to help create the single moms that her podcast actively speaks out against.
Their mating strategy is they don't want to pass on resources to another man's kid. Like that's why they're repulsed by hoes. That's why they're repulsed by like other people's children.
You're probably wondering by now, where is Pearl's ring? Well, I'm here to inform you that Pearl is single and unmarried at 26 years old.
And the reason I decided to go to therapy is because in the next like 5 to 7 years, ideally, you know, some things are out of your control, but ideally I'd like to be married.
Sorry. Every time I see her talk about getting into a relationship, I just keep hearing
she is too picky.
just lonely things. That's all I keep thinking about.
According to her, is because she is too picky.
You're single over a certain age, you're probably too picky.
And I say that it's because she's too picky because she claims that 28 years
You're single over a certain age, you're probably too picky.
And I say that it's because she's too picky because she claims that 28 years old is pretty old to be getting married.
What do men value? Third thing men value, youth. How are they getting youth when the average age of first marriage for women in the US is 28.6 years old?
And Pearl doesn't have much long-term experience in dating either. According to this interview on Yahoo News and what Pearl says online about her dating experiences on various podcasts, she's only had a couple of boyfriends. If you can do the math of her being 23 in the Yahoo interview, they couldn't have been that long considering she just turned 26 in the past couple of months. And that got me interested in knowing who is Pearl picking, considering that anytime a guy does something wrong, no matter what it is, she tells women to simply just pick better.
Okay, so then you pick guys that cheat.
I discovered that last year Pearl tweeted about a breakup she had, so I decided to go ahead and check the archives. And it turns out that Pearl actually got catfished by an obese man with 2 children on TikTok.
Damn.
Pick better, bitch.
God damn.
She got catfished by an obese man with 2 kids. I'm sorry. I think I'm starting to build a crush on this monotonous girl.
Baby, when did we start dating?
Yep, that's right. An obese man with 2 children on TikTok. And I point out that he's obese because Pearl is constantly dunking on fat girls.
Why do I need to look at your rolls? And then I have to go on social media. Then boom, whale. Boom, another whale.
The cherry on top is that Pearl has been pretty adamant about men having children being a deal breaker for her.
For me personally, I'm not into the guys with kids. It's not my thing.
Instead of immediately breaking up with him for hiding 2 whole children from her, she instead takes him in to live with her and her family to mooch off of them.
Because he was homeless when I first met him. So
What the fuck?
moved him into my parents' house so he could get an ID.
Too.
Yeah, and so my
Show
parents
proof of
put
him.
him on our lease.
Aw.
So that was how and they
Nah.
moved him in for he lived with us for a month.
Meanwhile, Pearl is
Your family, your father, whoever the hell signed off on that is the most generous, nicest MFer I ever heard of. At least in the most recent, I don't know, past few months or whatever. Cause ain't no way hell you're gonna bring in some random dude over to the house, have him move in, and you tell me he was homeless before, and he really has nothing going for him. Unless he was abandoned by his family or something, it gotta be some extreme super duper case. But that's a grown man. He is big as fuck. He could be on the offensive line somewhere. There's no way in hell he's moving into my home. Especially he has 2 kids. Where is his kids living? Why don't he go live with his kids with the mother of his children? That's what he need to do. That's crazy. Nah. Fuck no. Fuck no. I'll
out
put you
here
out
humble
myself.
bragging about her bagging a rich one on podcasts.
Oh,
Sure,
he was
that's
a
it.
millionaire. It was just he didn't know what to do with it.
How did you never millionaire?
He was on social media and I saw he lived kind of close to me, and so I made videos saying oh, we should hang out.
The hell?
Hey, man. I told you, we don't got much commentary for this one. This shit wild, bro. They're going through it.
Oh my god.
They are exposing the shit out of it.
Oh my day. Woo!
Homeless millionaire.
How you a
Have
homeless
you ever seen
millionaire?
those videos of girls shooting their shots at guys
No.
publicly? I was on TikToks and I did a video saying, when he's not doing this comedic bit, he's actually kind of fine. I live in Chicago, you live in Chicago, we should hang out.
I am pretty confident that Pearl is referring to her ex Wanya in these instances because Wanya
he's
is
not-
from Chicago,
he is
like the
big, but he's
millionaire
not
actually
that
talks about in the video. There are multiple articles saying that Wanya was homeless when he was around 22 years old. I do find it funny that Pearl dating Wanya, or people know him as Angry Reactions, was framed as her bagging a rich one. Meanwhile, he actually moved on to date a more attractive redhead, and she's still single and unmarried. It seems like her advice on lowering her standards to get married isn't working out so well for her. Pearl has the absolute audacity to tell women to pick better when she literally got catfished by some girl's obese baby daddy on TikTok.
Tabarnak!
Sheesh.
Woo! My girl's going in.
My crush is building.
Yeah, he has a lot of followers, but he ended up having to mooch
Damn.
off of her anyway, so. Not only does she regularly dunk on obese people, even taunting them in her TikTok bio before she got banned, but Pearl will even put all the blame on women for obesity in America, despite half the obese population in America being men. How can Pearl dunk on fat girls so often, considering that she has clearly neglected her own self-care? This video of her is only from 1 month ago, and it might surprise you to learn that she's a professional athlete.
Tabarnak!
Is she being petty?
And I don't think she looked so weird. She just looked like I don't know, not slim, but just an average build. Because she played volleyball, I think. And she did talk about before that she lost weight and went to the gym. So I really don't see no argument there.
Yes.
Is she making points? Yes.
No, that wasn't the point.
Do I approve? Absolutely.
God.
Now,
Well, you personally
Damn.
got a problem with her, which I don't.
just porky things. Let's keep going.
And despite her lack of self-care, she still likes to spout a lot of statistics about fat.
Like her arm's not that jiggly. That's where you could really like see what a fat is, and that's not the case.
Women, despite being corrected on this by Destiny on her live stream.
There's a lot of fat people. Fat people stay with fat people.
But women by and large are fatter than men. No. Women, and if you go in the U.S., the woman's always fatter. BMI.
So in the U.S., the average BMI for a man is 26.6, and the average BMI for a woman is 26.5.
Oh, I stand corrected.
Yikes. Carry on.
I mean, people get
But
me
even
wrong.
after he corrected her, she continued to misrepresent the statistic.
How can we say that as a whole, in the US and the West, we're good wives, when 80% of us are overweight, and that's the number one thing that men value? There's a lot of room for improvement with Western women. 70% of us are overweight. The average man makes more than the average woman, but the average woman is fatter than the average man.
So this is actually a really good one, because it shows that all these people who say the red pill is the truth or whatever, when they're given the actual accurate information, they'll still go back to peddling a lie because it benefits their grifts. Even though this is something that most people just skim past, what I think it really shows is that she's a liar. And she will purposefully lie, and she's caught in real time lying because it benefits her audience and she can sell her product. It's actually the most telling thing in this whole interview in a random way, or this whole video, because you see her lying in real time. She got the right information, went back to the false information because it appeals to the people she wants to sell things to. Mm-hmm.
Pearl speaks on men valuing attractiveness, purity, and youth, and says in order to get a high-value husband, or husband at all, you should be those things.
Men value purity and youth.
Yeah.
Purity, youth, beauty.
Pearl fails to meet these standards herself, despite wanting to get married so badly.
Not only is she accurate on the thing,
Yeah.
and she's thorough in her research, but god damn, my girl's a savage.
I don't even care that Pearl is unmarried. I just hate the fact that she constantly clowns other people for not being,
Yes.
and she can't even do her own fucking diligence to do her own work.
But it's a bit what you said earlier.
Like
you was talking about, women are being detestable because they always argue and stuff like that, and they nag, and so you making you said that's, and it is true. That's her.
Yeah.
She's doing exactly that. She's the polar opposite of
what she preaches.
Yeah.
Apparently, if I want results,
I don't know, man. Like I said, that argument doesn't really make sense to me, because just because you're not married already doesn't mean you don't have common sense. And you know, common sense is pushing marriage, pushing families, and staying together. I don't think you need to be married to push that type of stuff. Like I said at the start, if Pearly was to respond back and say, well, your parents couldn't even stay together to have a happy home together for y'all, but my parents did, at least I have that experience, I'm going off of that. What are you going off of? Like, people would say she's an asshole or whatever. So I really don't see that as a sound argument. I prefer better when people just argue their points instead of trying to attack people personally, because that stuff really doesn't hold weight. If something makes sense, then it makes sense, no matter who it come from. Even if somebody's crazy as hell, they say the sky is blue, I can look up and I know the sky is blue. At least that, like a, what's that saying? Like a broken clock strikes right twice a day. Like, just certain stuff, it's just common sense. You can see that.
in life, I have to start talking to boys. Yeah, wife me up if you're in the London area. You know?
In terms of purity, Pearl's not a virgin. Pearl actually wanted to partake in hookup culture.
But I swear to God, like, guys don't try to sleep with me.
Really?
like, I swear to God, I've been on a date and I would have been dead, and you just never tried. I was like, oh, okay. I've been on a date to a guy didn't even touch me once.
Yeah.
He touched me once, and I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't know if guys approach me often.
It could be the clothes.
It could be the clothes. They are flaming
Okay, now,
a motherfucker.
really?
They are flaming a motherfucker.
They're killing her. They're killing her.
Her especially.
We're just witnessing the murder with popcorn in hand. I ain't snitching on no one. We all saw it. We not saying a word to the cops. We enjoying this one.
Whoop whoop. That's the sound of me not saying shit.
Yeah, I ain't saying nothing. We watching this one.
So, according to Pearl, I guess we shouldn't be taking her advice, considering that she can't attract men even for casual encounters.
I've noticed a lot of therapists are like older single women, and I'm kind of like, if you can't maintain a relationship, why would I take advice from you?
Yeah, see, she used her own argument against herself.
Okay.
If your therapist is telling you something that is logical and is sensical and is backed up by evidence, then fucking do it, regardless if they're married or not, because they're not like a marriage counselor or any of that other stuff. Like, they're a therapist, so they're helping with your mental health, and they're saying, you know, losing weight, I don't know, like choosing better people to put your time into. That just sounds logical to me, regardless if that woman or man is married or not. That just makes sense. Just look at the results of it. So she fucked up herself in that.
Hey, Venti. Okay, Venti. Okay, Brittany, go on, do your thing.
Flaming.
Yes.
Flaming. Who's that girl?
Brittany Venti.
Okay.
Hey, guys, if you guys are liking this video, go to her channel, give it a sub, go like, you know what I mean?
Damn.
She's somebody who espouses conservative values in a lot of things, but she's really good about what she does, at least from what I'm seeing in this video. So, I mean, I'm going to give her, I mean, she did this much research. You got to go show her some love. Give her some of that AdSense dollars, okay?
And she thinks what's holding her back is the fact that she's like 6 feet tall.
I would say if there's one thing that's held me back in dating, it is the height.
But I think it's because of her desperation, and they can sense it along with her low standards.
She just doesn't give off any feminine qualities. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just being honest with you.
I think that just depends on the person. Albert clearly just doesn't like her, so him saying that really doesn't hold weight with me because it's obvious he's biased. But in this case, like, I don't know, she doesn't come off masculine to me. Oftentimes when you watch like old Kevin Samuel stuff or just have interactions with women in your everyday life, some are more masculine, some are more feminine. She seems to be more on the feminine side because she really doesn't scream and yell like I've seen some women do. She really doesn't get in people's face like I've seen some women do. Like, for example, that I think there was like a Spanish lady that was on her show like months and months ago, and it was like a viral clip, and she got kicked off the show, and she was like screaming and yelling and threatening to like shoot the black dude that was on there sitting down. Like, that's very fucking masculine, and I don't see Pearly doing that.
Like, forget how I feel about her personally as a person. I can separate the two things. I've hated personalities online, but like, she fine as hell. Or I could see.
But fine doesn't have nothing to do with
Pearl has zero sex appeal. This is what it is.
But that's just.
That's why she went on a date with a dude and he didn't even try anything. It's because. That's all. That's what it really comes down to. This ain't even hate or anything. This is just facts. Guys, if I'm lying, you guys get in the comments. And don't be a hater. Be honest. Don't say you would hit it because you haven't masturbated in 3 months. Like, if you got some options in life. And I would never talk about somebody like this openly, but because she talks about desirability and she can't find, like, I'm going to just tell you why you can't. It's because there's zero sex appeal.
Oh, this
Oh, hi. Yeah. You know, summer is coming out and things are going to be pretty hot for your skin. And you don't want to use anything that's going to be able to... Well, that started. How about you?
And you know, if a guy has all the things that you look for, he might cheat.
Yeah.
So how can I be that mad if he cheats when it's like I picked him?
Would you accept if he's just stepping up but not getting anyone pregnant?
Are we married?
No, you're in a relationship.
I think if I'm being truly honest with myself, for the right guy, I probably would.
How many times?
I don't know how many times.
She's basically announcing to the world, hey, I'm Pearl. I'll tolerate cheating. Please marry me.
That is facts. Like,
yo,
you just look pathetic.
Yo,
I would tolerate cheating from the right man. It's like, you would tolerate somebody like betraying your trust?
I think.
Let me be generous. Let me be good faith here.
Yeah,
maybe what Pearl's saying is like, I would allow a dynamic in which my man could step out and like I would be fine with it. Okay? That's not the same. That's not cheating. When you say cheating, that means that he is betraying your trust.
Yeah,
that means that you guys have come to an agreement and this person's stepping outside of that. If you're saying you want a one-sided open relationship, just say that. Stop saying cheating if that's not what you mean. Yeah, but if you're saying you would allow somebody to cheat on you regularly, you're a loser. Okay? Yeah. Sorry. You want to get into that's how I would see you. I would never take someone like that seriously. You can't even assert your own boundaries and keep something in terms of the sanctity of your relationship solid. How are you going to educate your kids in terms of respecting themselves and respecting their dynamic? How are you as a Christian woman going to educate your children in that life while at the same time doing something that's complete as one of the worst sins in Christianity? Sorry, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. But anyways, if I'm being good faith, that's what I think she might have meant.
That's what I think she meant too. But like I said, the story, like this video that they were reacting to is taking like, you know, clips and stuff. So we don't know the full context of it or what was said beforehand or what was leading up to it because they might have just crossed the words wrong. I don't know. But yeah, if you're getting cheated on over and over again, I definitely agree with Abba. But if it's something where you have like a personal agreement within your relationship where he can step out or whatever. And as long as he have no diseases, no baby mamas, none of that bullshit drama coming in affecting the wife and the kids and the family, then that's not cheating. That's just working within your relationship, and that's nobody else's business. But I don't know. She didn't specify that, but it's just a clip of an overall podcast, so we don't know what she really said fully. But I'm gonna stop it right there. But this is like a 30-minute video, and if I react to the whole thing consecutively, it's gonna be like 50 minutes, so like an hour or so. So I'll pause it right here. So that's it for part one. I'm gonna do part two right after this. So that's it for now. It's your boy Logos. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.